Welcome back! We have landed in the sands of Tatooine, although we're not exactly in the desert proper, we're actually in the city of Anchorhead. And if you remember Star Wars A New Hope, then you might recall that Luke Skywalker told Obi-Wan Kenobi that he would take him as far as Anchorhead, when Obi-Wan requested that he come with him to Alderaan. Well, we are here in Anchorhead right now, and it looks like a pretty interesting place. And there's plenty to see here, but before we start going any further, I want to just check to make sure that we've got all the stuff we can get here. We can take a look around our ship here, and it doesn't look like there's any security droids buzzing around it like there was on Dantooine, which is kind of sad, because I like those droids. If I remember right, there's another footlocker over here. Yep. Minor things, but if we don't use them, we can always sell them. And there's a guy over here who looks very much like the creature we saw on one of the cantinas on Terrace that had two heads. So let's try talking to him. Let's see what he's got to say. Let's see if he can answer where he comes from.
Baba Hassan Shan. No ba muri rati lai kunka. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muri ra.
Okay, I accidentally skipped over that last bit there, but you can see it up at top there. I want to say that the similar creature that we met on Terrace didn't actually tell us which planet he was from, but he did make that remark about the two mouths creating the sound or whatnot.
Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muri ra. Tangi wama jikona. Chiwa aita kang kicha na chupornibo. Kun muli ras limo. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna.
That's interesting. Also, Pa Erduwag is a rather strange word, and I suppose that's a term that should be pronounced in the way that they would probably pronounce it, which probably means that the way I'm saying it is completely wrong.
Baba Hassan Shan. No ba muli rati lai kunka. Ki muli ra kun kin. Tong hit wama ag.
If we ask him anything about Tatooine, he's mainly going to tell us what the Czerka rep already told us. Let's ask him about this, although I think this refers to Terrace for the most part when we ask people about it. Yep.
Kun muli ras limo poi wanga chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muli ra.
Usually when we say something about off-world rumors or activity or something like that, they'll always refer to Terrace when we ask them about that. For now, let's just see what he's got for sale. He seemed really excited. And there's a couple things, I believe, that I'm going to eventually buy here. One of them is this Jamo Hogra's carbine. And this is probably one of the best blaster rifles in the entire game. However, as you can see at the top there, I don't have nearly enough money for it quite yet. And I especially won't have enough money for it once I make another purchase here while we're in Anchorhead. But, as I said earlier, I do plan to return to Yavin in the middle of our time here on Tatooine. And the main reason why is so I can buy this gun, because unfortunately, the combat here on Tatooine is among the hardest, at least I think it's among the hardest in the entire game, at least among the 4 planets that we can initially go to. So I do want to make sure I'm well prepared before going out and meeting the foes we'll be fighting. But we'll come back and get that later. Uh-oh. Shipment? what are Gizka? Oh boy. Of course. Well, that ought to be interesting. And now we got a journal entry for that. Let's see what it says. The trouble with Gizka. Well, that certainly isn't a reference to anything at all. Evan Hawke, the fates seem to be conspiring against you. The disorganized port authorities on Tatooine appear to have shipped a delivery of Gizka to the Evan Hawke's hold, and there doesn't appear to be any way to give them back. The dock worker mentioned that some of the Gizka escaped, which certainly doesn't sound good. Well, we'll check out what is on our ship here later on, but for now I'm going to explore.
Why are you bothering me? You've got a ship. You can leave this rock.
Okay. People friendly as always. Well, let's go ahead and exit out to the city and see what awaits us there. Hopefully there will be some interesting information we can glean, as well as Mission's brother and Bastil's mother. Let's see what these guys have to say. Yeah, the Czerka Corp reps' information seemed to indicate that it may happen one day.
With Terrace gone, I wonder who the Sith will turn on next.
Well, hopefully it won't be here.
I still haven't heard a final figure on how many people died on Terrace.
Well, moisture farming is eventually what Luke Skywalker and his aunt and uncle dabble in. And also, concerning that death toll on Terrace, I must say that is one thing that really made me sad when I first played the game, because all those people that we helped along the way get the rat ghoul poison cure and all that, and the people in the Undercity whom we helped into the Promised Land, you gotta wonder if they're still alright.
The Republic is too complacent. If they let Terrace fall, do you think they care what happens out here?
Well, considering this planet is in the Outer Rim, and it's probably not a member of the Republic, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Most likely not, if the Mandalore Wars are any indication. Before we go on, let me just show you all the map here. This should give you an idea of what is available here in the city. This is where we came from, this yellow circle here. This is the spaceport. To our left right now is the hunting lodge, and a little bit ahead and to the right is the Czerka office, which is actually where I'm going to go first. There's a swoop registration office down here, a cantina, and a droid shop, and down here is the exit to the deserts. So we have a lot to do here in Anchorage, and we'll try to get all of it done here in a reasonable amount of time. But let's see what this lady wants.
Please, will you help me? I have nothing left.
Well, I'm definitely up for helping people in need. Let's see what she would like for us to do.
Oh, thank you. I don't have anywhere else to turn. If you're down and out on Tatooine, you're on your own. My husband was a hunter, killed out on the dunes. This raid plate is all I have left. Please, will you buy it? I don't need a handout. I just can't sell it to Faza without a license. Please, I'm worried about having it. They're so rare.
First of all, we don't even know what a raid plate is, but I get the impression that it's a sort of trophy collected from an animal that he killed.
It's the bone plate from the head of the desert raid. My husband was so proud when he found it. He had just started hunting. He said he felt sure the next hunt would bring in more, so we waited to sell this one. Then he never came back. Will you buy it? I can't sell it myself. They are worth more than 500 credits.
Now, at this point, if you say this, I believe this is the neutral option. And this right here is, of course, the dark side option, but we do want to help her, and I will buy it from her. We will have enough credits here in due time, so this will not be an issue.
You will? Oh, thank you so much. Please, I know it's worth at least 500 credits. Thank you. I hope it is enough. You've been a great help. I appreciate it. My children will too.
What was that all about? Are you going soft on me?
Oh,
Thank you for
Candace.
helping this woman. It may not seem like such a great thing to you, but you are making a difference.
For whatever it means, may the Force be with you. You saved us.
Oh, that's good. And it's always nice to hear encouragement from Bastila. Now, I believe if you gave her the extra money there, you may have noticed that was an option there toward the end, you would have gained even more white side points, but I was satisfied just with giving her the 500. And it looks like she was as well. And we got XP from that as well. I will, uh-oh. That doesn't sound too good. What human woman is he talking about? Helena? Wait a second. That's Bastila's mother, isn't it?
Her mother was supposed to be here somewhere. Ask if they've seen her.
I think he just did. Oh boy.
We should try to find her. I doubt she wants to be kept waiting.
Yeah. Yes, but hopefully we can help clear her mind a bit. We'll see what happens. But before we get to that, we'll spend some time in the Czerka office. Because we can take the time all we want here in RPGs, thankfully. I don't think we can... Oh yeah, we can get stuff from here. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Something you want? I don't have a lot of time for talk, so please, make it quick. Alright, but I'm not sure what I could say to interest you. I just work on the crawlers. I repair the sand crawlers when they return from the mines. They get pretty banged up, even without the attacks.
By attacks, I'm assuming he means the sand people.
The sand people attack them pretty regularly. Czerka Corporation is getting pretty sick of it, I hear. They've offered bounties on sand people for a while now, but few hunters take them up on it. Too dangerous.
Well, I'm certainly not interested in killing sand people, but I would like to know more about the situation. And perhaps along the way we might be able to dissuade Czerka Corporation from engaging them. So let's see if we can ask about that.
Try at the Czerka offices right here. They'd know.
What about these sand crawlers?
Oh, the big crawlers head out at dawn. That's so they avoid the bigger predators. The raid, I mean. Doesn't help avoid the sand people, though. They attack pretty regular, no matter what Czerka Corporation tries. Well, it's a hole in the galaxy as far as I'm concerned. I doubt this outpost will last much longer. But that's happened before and will happen again. Anchorhead has been resettled a few times now.
Interesting.
Well, Tatooine fools people. It looks like it might have a good supply of resources, but it doesn't. Before a company learns this, they've already set up communities to support operations they now can't afford. Company pulls out, cities dry up, and after a few years, someone that doesn't know why it failed tries again. No one is. I guess it looked like a promising mining planet, but the metal, I tell you, it just isn't right. I've been a mechanic my whole life, and I've never seen anything corrode as fast as Tatooine metal. It's why whoever was here before left, and why Czerka will leave, and why whoever comes next will leave.
That's what the representative at the dock seemed to indicate.
All right then, back to work, I guess.
Now you may notice in the beginning of that conversation that you can actually be mean to him. And you can actually do this with quite a few people here on Tatooine. And there are even some instances where if you have Force Persuade, if I'm not mistaken, it's Force Persuade that's required for this. You can actually force them to stay silent, which is kind of disturbing. If you ask me. Maybe I'm just the only one who finds that kind of a little strange. And I accidentally skipped a little bit of the conversation again there. Let's see here. What is going on here?
kuya mi just kuna jitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun slimo patona. Rundi hadonga chihon kapi. La boda ni winki smak toma. Wana kun best chingpa ma rulira. Tok chingbang.
Looks like that guy on Dantooine is not the only one who's upset with Czerka. The more I hear about them, the more I distrust them. Well, let's see what this protocol officer here has to say about that.
Can I help you? These are the offices of the Czerka Corporation. I trust you have business with the company? If this is about employment, I'm afraid all regular mining positions are full. And before you ask, we are also no longer selling hunting licenses.
Aww. Well, let's see if she knows anything about Mission's brother.
Griff? There's no Griff here. Never heard of him. No, I don't remember a single Griff on the Czerka Corporation payroll.
That pretty much means that she does know something, doesn't it?
Oh, you mean that Twi'lek? Must have slipped my mind for a second.
Ah.
Yes, of course I remember Griff. We hired that Twi'lek some time ago. Not a good worker, according to his crew chief. Always complaining and faking injuries to get out of work. He entered false timesheets and slept through his shifts. We even suspected him of stealing Czerka Corporation supplies, although we could never prove it.
Yeah, that certainly sounds like the brother that Mission has been describing. And that Lena described to us as well.
We would have fired him, but we needed workers. It would have been better for him if he had been fired. Then the Sand People wouldn't have gotten him.
Oh. Well, this certainly sounds like an awkward situation.
He was lost in a Sand People raid we suffered not too long ago. There were prisoners taken, but our rescue parties never found anyone alive. In the end, it just wasn't cost-effective to keep searching. All miners sign a waiver absolving Czerka Corporation of liability in these circumstances. Czerka Corporation cares deeply for all of its employees.
Right.
That's why we've started a bounty program to thin the Sand People numbers. We didn't find his body, so we have to assume he was taken prisoner. Whether he's still alive, I couldn't say. That's all I can tell you. I shouldn't even have said this much. This is all privileged corporate information. I could lose my job. As I said, all employees have signed waivers absolving Czerka Corporation of any financial liability if this occurs. It is the industry standard. I suppose you could apply for special dispensation from the Czerka Corporation representative kiosk on Coruscant. Business hours only, please.
I'm not particularly interested in that.
Very well, though I do have work to get back to.
What about these hunting licenses? She said that she wasn't selling them anymore, but maybe we can find some way around that.
As I said, we are no longer selling them. There are too many people cavorting about outside the walls as it is.
So it sounds like Czerka is basically controlling the population by holding them within the walls of Anchorhead.
We use them to ensure that only people judged fit by Czerka Corporation are allowed outside the city.
Yeah.
We don't allow casual exploration because of legal concerns. Czerka Corporation takes no responsibility for loss of life on the dunes. It's just so we can keep track of people. No one leaves the city without a Czerka hunting license.
Okay, I really am starting to dislike Czerka even more now.
Well, normally we charge 200 credits, but I could make an exception if you agreed to perform a task for us. It's similar to hunting. The Sand People are becoming a problem. They destroy our sand crawlers and kill our miners. One particular tribe is the worst. It's as if their chieftain has decided to wage war against us. I would like their attacks terminated. Bring me their gaffy sticks as proof. If you agree to do this, I'll give you a hunting license now and pay a bounty for each stick later. I'll give a bonus for the chieftains.
I'm definitely not going to ask this because I don't really want to bring their heads back. And if I do, she's actually just going to say, would you want a head on your desk or something like that. But I really don't want to kill the Sand People.
Then you are free to leave the city just like everyone else. Czerka Corporation will welcome your eventual change of mind. Please, feel free to enjoy the door behind you.
And
Greetings again from the offices
Oops.
of Czerka Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else?
I was going to read that journal entry real quick before we talk to her again.
Farewell. Czerka Corporation welcomes your future inquiries.
Let's see what that has to say first before we try speaking to her a second time. Sand People is a new entry on here. Czerka Corporation has offered to allow you to leave Anchorhead and enter the Dune Sea if you help stop the Sand People from attacking their interests. There is no other way to get permission to enter the Dune Sea. So it sounds like we have to agree to stop the attacks. There really isn't anything there that says we have to actually kill them. So let's see if we can find a way to do that that's non-violent. Because right now, the Sand People haven't really done me any wrong in any way, so I'm not particularly interested in engaging in any sort of animosity with them. And it sounds like the people around here, not just Czerka Corporation, have been infringing on them anyway, so it would be nice to broker some sort of peace if possible. There's also Mission's brother. According to the Czerka rep on Tatooine, Griff was captured during a Sand People raid on one of the mining camps. Whether he is still alive is anyone's guess. Well, let's hope he is. And let's try talking to her again.
Greetings again from...
Let's talk about the licenses again, and this time we'll agree to try to stop the attacks. And I will use those words, not kill the Sand People.
As I said, we are no longer... The Sand People are becoming a problem. It's as if they're... If you agree to do... Excellent. Now, just so we understand each other, this is an enforceable contract. Czerka Corporation takes this very seriously. Here's your license, and a few directions. We believe one of their enclaves is in the far south of the Dune Sea. You might try following one of our sand crawlers. They're regularly attacked. I wouldn't mind you escorting them.
Okay. At least, hopefully we won't really have to worry about Czerka following us out there, unless this sandcrawler happens to be nearby. But maybe we can avoid that.
Very well, though I do have work to get back to.
If we ask about this is once again about terrorists, and she's going to refuse to comment on that because, well, of course, she's Czerka Corporation, and they're evil like that.
Of course. Czerka Corporation records are available at our representative kiosk on Coruscant. Business hours, please. For your needs here, we maintain a fully stocked storehouse. Speak with Greta Holda about any purchases.
Let's see if she can tell us more about how they're doing here on Tatooine, even though we've heard that from a lot of the other people here.
Certainly. Please pose your questions to the representative kiosk on Coruscant.
Come on.
Business hours, please.
Yeah, exactly. No secrets in my book.
I suppose you're right. It's not like you can't tell the state of things just by looking around. Mining operations here have not been a success. The ore is substandard, and there's less of it than surveys indicated. With the Sand People raids on top of it all, it's no wonder this planet has been abandoned before.
We already know about what makes the ore substandard, so I'm not really going to ask her about that. But let's ask her if they've actually got plans to pull out. It seems like they do, but let's see what she has to say about it.
The company would be foolish to stay. It will be costly, but in the end, leaving will be cheaper than staying. I imagine all the heavy equipment will be abandoned. It's not worth shipping out things like sand crawlers. Maybe the Jawas will find a use for them when we're gone. That's a laugh.
We don't really need to ask all these other questions here, so let's just go ahead and leave.
Farewell. Czerka Corporation welcomes your future inquiries.
I'm not exactly a big fan of talking to this lady anyway. And let's see what our journal now has to say. Czerka Corporation has given you permission to enter the Dune Sea on the condition that you stop the Sand People from raiding their mining interests. They want the Sand People chieftain's gaffy stick as proof. Once again, the wording suggests that killing them may not be the only way to stop the attacks, and I certainly hope that is the case. Let's talk to this Greta Holda here. If we ask any of these questions, he'll just direct us to the representative over there, or the protocol officer, rather. Let's just see what he's got in the shop here. There really isn't a whole lot of interesting things here. There are a few nice armors, but nothing quite like Jango Fett's armor, Cassius Fett's armor on Dantooine, or some of the others that we'll find later on. There are mines, which again I'm not really going to buy, but I figured it was just worth looking at this just to show you what it looked like. Well, let's go ahead and leave. No point in staying around here. I really don't like Czerka Corporation. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe this guy can tell us more about that possibility. Hopefully he knows something we do not.
Wanakun best Jingpa Marulira, Tok Jingbang non kick. Tok Ninja Mulira Ra, Kuyami Juskuna Chitanai. Inakun Marulira Rachikun, Slimopato.
Well, I do agree that the Sand People have killed people, but that's only because that other people have been attacking them and infringing upon them, at least from what we've been able to tell. And I really don't want to say that the Czerka people said this, because I really don't believe the Czerka folks. But why would this guy happen to know any better, though?
La boda ni winky smack toma. Wanakun best Jingpa Marulira, Tok Jingbang non kick. Tok Ninja Mulira Rabes, Kuyami Juskuna Chitanai. Inakun Marulira Rachikun, Slimopadona. Mundi Hadonga Chihonkabi. La boda ni winky smack toma. Wanakun best Jingpa Marulira, Tok Jingbang non kick.
So what would he suggest then? Because if I'm going to try to talk to them, I'd best be prepared for that.
Kuyami Juskuna Chitanai. Inakun Marulira Rachikun, Slimopadona. Mundi Hadonga Chihonkabi. Kuyami Juskuna Chitanai. Inakun Marulira Rachikun, Slimopadona. Mundi Hadonga Chihon.
So does anybody have a droid like that around here? Because that would be really awesome.
La boda ni winky smack toma. Wanakun best Jingpa Marulira, Tok Jingbang non kick. Tok Ninja Mulira Rabes, Kuyami Juskuna Chitanai. Inakun Marulira Rachikun, Slimopadona. La boda ni winky smack toma. Wanakun best Jingpa Marulira, Tok Jingbang non kick.
So where exactly is this enclave?
Kuyami Juskuna Chitanai. Inakun Marulira Rachikun, Slimopadona. Mundi Hadonga.
And what about these robes? Because that sounds like an interesting idea.
Kuyami Juskuna Chitanai. Inakun Marulira Rachikun. La boda ni winky smack toma. Wanakun best Jingpa Marulira. Tok Jingbang.
Yeah, that would be a little awkward. Well, maybe we can look into it.
Kuyami Juskuna Chitanai. Inakun Marulira Rachikun. Slimopadona. Mundi Hadonga Chihonkabi.
Well, we're not Czerka. In fact, we're completely antithetical to Czerka. And we've got an updated journal entry on Sand People again. Czerka Corporation is allowing you to enter the Dune Sea on the condition that you stop the Sand People raids, bringing them the chieftain's gaffy stick as proof. An alien conservationist has suggested there might be a better way to stop the conflict if a sophisticated translation droid could be taken on the task. And it looks like our next objective will be to find this droid. And for some reason this is still a new entry, even though we read it. So let's see if we can do that. And on this map, we saw that there was a droid shop over here, so I'm actually going to skip the swoop track for now, and the cantina for now, and go ahead and try resolving this whole issue with the droid. And hopefully we will be able to see if it actually can speak the Sand People dialect or not. Uh-oh.
Lord Malak was most displeased when he learned you had escaped Terrace alive. He has promised a great reward to whoever destroys you.
Oh boy. There are Dark Jedi right here in the middle of the street. This cannot be good. Well, first things first, let's use stasis on this guy. Flurry him to death. And Bastel, let's see. I'll have you take this one on. And I will have you do stun on him. And Candace, whom we need to level up. We'll do that later, why not? You can take this guy.
Sure.
I'm gonna try to be pretty strategic about this. I actually had a really hard time with this fight the first time I played the game, mainly just because my character was bad. Hey, this is actually going pretty well. Alright. And so I didn't mean to click on Bastel there.
Then I suggest we move on.
Let's see what these guys have on them. A yellow crystal, a Verpine cardio regulator, a double-bladed lightsaber, and a dark Jedi Knight robe. Well, I'm definitely going to make use of that robe. Sith Assassin pistol, an Achani dueling shield, a Diamond crystal, and a data pad. We'll have to see what that says on it. And this fellow here had a sonic grenade, a Sith energy shield, a red crystal, and a short lightsaber. At last, we've gotten our short lightsaber. And I'm actually going to go ahead and equip that right now. So we've got 2 awesome lightsabers. I'm going to change it from red to another color, though. And I'm going to put on the Dark Jedi Knight robe. I don't mind the fact that it's a Dark Jedi Knight robe. It still has the same stats as a normal Jedi Knight robe, and I will give Bastila the normal Jedi robe.
What?
Alright.
Yes.
I actually really like this color. I think the dark color looks pretty good on me. Thankfully that wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was. Now, before we go inside the droid shop, I'd like to go ahead and level up Canderous here, right outside. And I'll talk to all these folks on the way back.
So, Bastila.
Uh-oh.
I heard a rumor that the Vulkars captured you without much of a struggle. It must be embarrassing to be bested by a handful of street thugs.
There were extenuating circumstances, and I can assure you, it took far more than a handful of Vulkars to subdue me.
Okay, I really don't like these sorts of conversations.
Whatever you say. All I know is that if we had more Jedi like Bastila fighting against us in the Mandalorian Wars, my side might not have lost.
Bold talk from a broken-down mercenary who is serving at Davik's heel.
Ooh.
I'd call you his pet cat-hound, but they have enough loyalty not to turn on their masters.
Insults? Maybe if your master had trained your lightsaber to be as quick as your tongue, you could have escaped those Vulkars, you spoiled little Jedi princess.
Ow.
I was not spoiled. I was given the same training as everyone else in the Order. You are nothing but No, I must not do this. There is no emotion. There is peace.
That's the problem with you Jedi. Always chanting about peace and control. Never up for a good fight. Well, except for Revan, I guess.
Enough, Mandalorian. I won't rise to your bait anymore. The game is over. Let us continue on with what we were doing.
Sure sounds like Canderous has some amount of respect for Revan. Don't know if that's exactly a good or a bad thing or not. Let's go ahead and level him up here. Skills, I'm going to go ahead and put more into demolitions, and I guess treat injury. Why not? Oh wait, we only have 1 point, that's right. He's a soldier. And feats, let's see now. I think for Canderous I am going to go ahead and improve his conditioning, which gives him a +2 bonus on the saving throws. And we can level him up again. Demolitions again, why not? Feats master conditioning, which brings the saving throws to +3 bonus. And that is all for now. Alright, well, we will be sure to check out this droid shop in the next video.